This is Artemis Launch Control. We are currently 5 hours and 42 minutes and counting from the opening of today's launch window for the Artemis II mission. That launch window officially opens at 6:24 p.m. Eastern Time, and teams do have a 2-hour launch window, which means that they have additional opportunities if they don't meet the beginning of that window. Now joining me is Artemis Launch Director Charlie Blackwell Thompson. Charlie, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Oh, you're more than welcome. It's great to be here, Tony.
It sure is. Now we know that you just conducted a flight crew weather brief with our astronauts as well as teams and mission control and our launch weather officer. Do you mind providing us kind of how that went and what we can expect?
Yes, the weather brief went really well. What we do during that weather brief is we give the flight crew a summary of where we are in our tanking, what's left, and of course we have our core stage and our upper stage fully loaded with LH2, and we're in replenish, and we are just finishing up our LO2 or liquid oxygen load into the upper stage. So we provided that status along with any non-conformances that the crew might be interested in, and then we went through the weather. And so our weather from our launch weather officer remains at a 80% likelihood of go today and a 20% chance of violation. We are watching some precip that is making its way toward the pad, but we expect that that is going to dissipate as we get closer to the opening of our window. So really good to hear the crew's voices and to talk through a day of launch ops. You know, it's something that we simulate, but there's nothing like the real day.
Absolutely. I can only imagine, and it's great news to hear that we are still 80% go. Those are very, very favorable conditions. Let's hope it stays that way. You mentioned we're getting closer to reaching what is called all stages in stable replenish. That means that we will have all 4 tanks at 100% flight level. Charlie, can you walk us through then what are some of those upcoming milestones once we reach all stages replenish?
Absolutely. So one of the big milestones when you reach stable replenish on all stages is you begin to send the closeout crew into the pad, and so we're just a few minutes away from getting into that, and we'll deploy them to the pad, and they'll start getting ready for the flight crew. And then, of course, shortly after that is the exciting milestone of seeing the crew walk out of the operations and checkout building and make their way to the pad. And that's certainly something that we've been waiting a very long time to see. It's going to be very exciting, I think, certainly for our team. It'll be exciting for our country, and it'll be exciting for people all over the world who are watching our crew head to the pad, knowing that we are just about 5 hours or so from launch.
You couldn't have said it any better. This is very exciting for the entire world. We cannot wait for that moment when we see our astronauts depart their crew quarters and head to the pad. Charlie, thank you so much for taking the chance to speak with us today. We are rooting for you. We're wishing you the best of luck in today's countdown, and we'll let you get back on console.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate the opportunity to chat with you, and go Artemis.
Go Artemis. All right, so to quickly recap, we are in replenish mode for both liquid hydrogen tanks, and we are getting ready to also hit replenish mode on the liquid oxygen tanks for both of those. We will report out when that is underway. This is Artemis Launch Control. We are currently 5 hours and 37 minutes and counting from the opening of today's launch window for NASA's Artemis II mission. Now, the launch team is currently in the process of loading cryogenic or liquid propellant onto the SLS rocket. You see our launch team there in Firing Room 1, and you actually can see our NASA administrator, Jared Isaacman. He just joined the room to greet our launch director, Charlie Blackwell Thompson, and our assistant launch director, Jeremy Graver. Now, to quickly recap, we started our propellant loading operations at 8:35 a.m. Eastern Time. That was after we had chilled down the core stage systems lines, and after we had been given the go from our launch director to start our tanking operations. So after 8:35, we started again slow fill. A little bit after that, at 9:25, our astronauts got their scheduled wake-up call. Following slow fill on the core stage, we then transitioned into fast fill. Once we were in fast fill for the core stage, we then started our upper stage loading operations. We started first with hydrogen. Started chilling down the liquid hydrogen tank on the upper stage at roughly 9:36 a.m. And then we got into fast fill at 9:51 a.m. Following that, we entered then our topping phase on the core stage liquid hydrogen tank. Topping refers to finishing up that last little bit to get to 100%, and then we transitioned into replenish. We did the same thing for the core stage liquid oxygen tank, as well as for the liquid hydrogen tank on the upper stage. Now all that's left is to enter replenish mode for the liquid oxygen tank on our upper stage, and we will enter what is called all stages replenish. This means that now all 4 tanks will be at 100% level. Once we reach this stage, this will be the signal for our launch team to let our astronauts know that they have the clear to enter the launch pad and go and enter their spacecraft. As a reminder, NASA is providing 24/7 live coverage of this mission. We started this morning at 7:45 a.m. and ran you through our tanking loading operations, and we will continue to do so throughout the rest of today's launch countdown. We will be beginning our live coverage in just a few minutes for that launch, and the rest of our commentators will make sure to take you along through today's countdown. You can see on your screen there how to watch. And as our launch director just recently said when she came on air, let's go Artemis II.